there, welcome to our channel. I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
And we're NV Board Gaming. And today we're looking at Cosmoctopus. This is a game published by Lucky Duck Games. It plays 1 to 4 and it was designed by Henry Ottoman. Nick is going to go through a brief overview of how you play and then we're going to give our reviews.
Hey everyone, welcome to the table. We are set up for a game of Cosmoctopus. Alright, there. So this is our play area. In this game, it is a race to get 8 tentacles, which are these pink resources right here. We're going to be filling out our summoning area. First one to complete that will be awarded the win. So I'm just going to give you a basic overview of how the game is played. So we're going to start the game with 5 cards each. We are going to have 2 resources each as well. And this will be like an engine building race type of game. So with my cards, the first thing on my action, when it's my turn, I have to move Cosmoctopus. We are told to start the game with Cosmoctopus in this area with this resource, the star resource. It'll start there, and I'm forced to move northwest, east, south. We're going to go ahead and move right here, and then this is simply telling us what action we do when we move. So here I would take 3 of these gold resources. So if that's something I want to do, which it looks like it might be because I have a lot of things that are gold resources here, I could do that and just take my 3 resources. And then after that, I can optionally play one of these cards by spending the resources at the top left. These resources right here tell you that what resource it needs, and then there's another symbol here that is a generic, simply one of anything. So if I wanted to play this one right here, I would have to spend 3 of the ones I just received, and then 2 of anything I want. Let's just say it's not going to be the ink. Let's just say it'll be the red. All right, so I'll spend 2 of these whisper resources, and now I have this. For the rest of the game, whenever I collect those star resources, I get 2 extra. There is a card and a resource limit of 8, so do keep that in mind. That effect isn't until the end of your turn. So if I were to acquire 15 of something late in the future of the game, I do not have to discard down until it is the end of my turn. So I'm going to try to spend those if I get that many. So I went ahead and I played a card, and then we check our resource count and our card count. We're below 8, so or we're not above 8. So we're going to go ahead and pass to the next player, and it's going to keep going like this. So these different actions out here. There's one that collect 1. Now, if I were to go there next, I would collect that 1, and then I'll get 2 extra because I collected 1of those stars. Remember, I have that ability. And then it says to take 1 of the cards here. So we can go over some of the cards, what they do. So these are ongoing. These hallucination cards are, let's see, play a relic from the card row for free. So these are instant. These are things that make things cheaper. So when I want to accomplish things, instead of spending that resource, I will have a card that says I have this always. So that's what the black ones do, the scriptures. And these constellations, these are ways to get, generally they're ways to get, the most common ways to get the tentacles right here. So anytime you see a tentacle printed, we're going to be able to get one of the tentacles to get us closer to end game. But you need to do other things to get to that point where you can start doing these. To do these, on your turn, once you acquire this, in future turns, when you gain these resources, as long as the arrow is pointing to it, so you start with the top left, and then you work your way out. Once this is full, you'll get whatever it is at the bottom, and that will always include a tentacle, as well as some other abilities. So once this is complete, these go back to the supply, and you'll gain a tentacle. You're 1/8 of the way to winning. Let's see, we did all those. Last thing I'll mention are these. So if you were to ever have 13 of any of these resources, as long as that Forbidden Knowledge token is available, you can collect it that turn. Now you're going to ask, how can you get 13 if you can only hold 8? Well, like I said, you can get 13 during a turn. You just cannot keep all 13 at the end of your turn. So this is just saying have that many in your supply at that time, and you can collect that. Do not have to discard at that point. You can collect this, and it'll be 2 tentacles. So now you're 1/4 of the way to winning if you collect one of those. Yeah, so we already covered what these types do. There's going to be one that's random at the beginning of the game. There's a few of them that are just one-offs. You shuffle them in with the 9 and set it up. There are variable setups as well. So put those back out. This one is one that is not necessarily in every game. +2 resources of equal type. So that is not the most optimal because, as you know, you can go here and get 3 of an equal type. This is just in a pinch if it's maybe something that you need, then you can't quite reach it. You can go farther by spending resources if you need to move farther than that one spot. And there, like I said, there's variable setups, so you can go to the rule book and check out what different ways you're going to set this up. This is the basic way of playing, the easiest way of playing and moving around. So that is the gist of Cosmoctopus, and Vic and I are going to go back up top and tell you what we think of the game.
All right, and we are back. Thank you so much, Nick, for the great overview of how you play Cosmoctopus. We first heard about this game actually at Gen Con, and I think we tried to play it. This was last year, not this Gen Con, that just from last year's Gen Con. And we tried to sign up to play it, but we never got an opportunity, but Andrew did.
Yes, he said he did get a little overview of it or a demo of it, but it didn't, I guess it didn't stand out because he couldn't remember too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was our first, it looks cool. You see the box, it looks cool, and you want to try it. Lucky Duck, good reputation, putting out a lot of good games. I was interested for sure. It is a race-style game that can be hit or miss for me. An engine build, another thing that can be hit or miss for me. It just depends on, does this game let you build that engine? Yeah. And I think this one does. I think this one does let you build that engine. You have to get 8 tentacles to win, so that's not necessarily going to be a super quick game. So it does let you get an engine going. So if for expectations of this game, did you have any expectations going in when we were playing it? Did you have any idea what the game was about, or you just learned it?
No, I didn't. And when you were explaining it, I thought, okay, we're trying to move this octopus around or make favor with this octopus, this Cosmoctopus, this being. And I didn't quite get it at first. And then I go, oh, okay, it's not as challenging as I first thought. It's pretty straightforward where you're collecting resources. You've got a limit on your resources. You have to be pretty strategic about how you're going to collect the resources that you need and get the cards you want, and moving that octopus depending on where what the configuration is, because that's customizable in the game. You can change the way that the cards are laid out to move, and that could be a challenge, or it could be really easy to get what you need. Just depends on how those cards on the tableau are laid out.
Yeah, I would say if you're the first play, you definitely want the 3x3 grid because it's super easy to move, and you're not, trapped in one area. You feel like you're trapped in a certain area. Yeah. And that you're never trapped in a certain area. It's easy to get around because it's a 3x3. But if you start doing crazy designs, it's kind of a little tricky, and you might not like that, especially at first if you're not used to the game.
Yeah.
I like that the game gives you other options. So if you enjoy the game, you have other options to play, not just for configurations. You can do a co-op mode.
Yeah.
So if you really like the game, it gives some more replayability. You have a couple, I think 4 or 5 tiles in there that are interchangeable. You can change it out, so it's not the same 9 every single time. So you have a few things you can change out there. Not too much, though, because of the 9, 8 will be the same every single game. So you do have the slight replayability with one tile being different, and you can do different configurations, and you can play a co-op mode. So it's not just, you're straight out 9 every time you play, just rearranged.
Yeah.
So they tried to put some replayability for those people that enjoy the game.
For sure. And, there are different cards you can get that, as you encounter them, they have different card types. I can't list off exactly what types they are, but they do different things. They may be an ongoing ability, a one-time use, or something that you can use to, when you achieve it as a reward, do something neat of some sort, you know? Yeah. So I do like that. It has a lot of variety to the game. It's not simply just trying to acquire cards and trade in resources for it. There is a little bit more to it, but not too much. Like, I wouldn't say it's beyond that. But what did you think about the component quality of the game, or what you first?
I think it's good for for just an engine building type game, a smaller game, easy rule set. I think the components are fine. The tokens, you got the stars, you got the whispers, all those wooden components, they're nice. The cardboard that is in the game, it's thick, it's not flimsy, it's not sheets or anything like that. The cards are fine as well, so no real issue for me.
Yeah,
I think it's better than having these little cardboard tokens for resources. I like having the wooden tokens. like Vic said, in this game, you have cards that do certain things. You have cards that do ongoing abilities. You have cards that score you those tentacles. You have cards that do immediate abilities, and then things that will trim the cost of pain for your cards that you play.
Right.
So that's good. The variety is there, and you're encouraged to get a bunch of different things because you're our ability engine. Yes, the teal ones, the ones that are, I forget, constellations, those are the ones that are going to give you that win. They're going to get you the tentacles, aside from the forbidden knowledge, which gives you 2 tentacles. Those are going to give you, every time, are going to give you tentacles that help you win, but you need all the other stuff to get you to that point.
Yeah.
So it is true and true. It is an engine building game first and foremost, and then, as most games are, the resource collection.
Yeah, and the race there. I like the little purple octopus too. That the plastic figurine. That's a neat addition. They could have, not done that or had a token moving around, but to have an actual 3D looking octopuses adds a cool element to the table and makes it look a little more interesting than having just these cards out.
Cool.
With the wooden tokens.
Let's do something a little different. Let's give our scores and then explain why we gave that score. Because we haven't done that before.
No.
I just thought of it right now.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go first?
Right, yeah.
All right. And the reason I thought I would do that, because I am given a low score. It's a 5 for me, so I'll explain myself. For me, for my taste, I don't really want to play this game again. It is too simple. It's not exciting for me. It's kind of like a drag to play. It is, you move the Cosmoctopus, you do the action there, and then you might be able to play the card. And I was being generous with what I was saying about the replayability. It's 8 of the, possibly 9 of the tiles are the same every time you play, and they're very boring. It's collecting a resource and getting a card, or it's collecting 3 resources. Mm-hmm. And that, honestly, a 5 might be generous for me. I really dislike the game. I'm giving it a 5 because it's not broken. It's very playable. And if you like just straight up resource management and a race and an engine type build, it's there. It works. It functions for those purposes. I didn't find it very interesting at all. So I gave it a 5.
I can understand where you're coming from. For me, my score, I actually had started off thinking of a 6 in the 6s, high 6s, and then I moved to 7-1. I moved there because I thought that the art was cute on the front of the box. I kind of like the simplicity of the game, but it does overstay its welcome, as Nick mentioned. I do think that it takes way too long for what you're trying to do. Even though it's a race game, you think it's going to be quick. I can remember playing this for quite a bit with Andrew and Sam, unless I'm completely mistaken. When we got to be 4 players, it seemed to take a while to actually get all those tentacles. But I guess it depends on who you play with. I mean, sometimes you've been very quick, and all of a sudden I look over and you've got...
Yeah, it depends on your combo.
Yeah, it depends.
If you have the right combo, it's quick. Yeah. If you don't get the right combo, the cards didn't come out on your turn that worked out that great. Yeah. It can drag, sure.
And the way that you can only move that so far, that octopus in different configurations, was kind of a drag because, I would move it, I'd get something not so great, and then someone else would be having an engine that, oh, awesome, now I'm going to move it to and I felt like we were just moving the token over and over again, the octopus, in the same few cards.
It can work out that way, especially if we did an advanced one. We tried it. Yeah. We tried the co-op. It's the same game, so it doesn't add any mechanics. It's just you're trying to beat the AI. Right. I was really hoping that co-op would be a redeemer. Like, oh, now it's fun. Yeah, it was the same game. So if you like the base, if you don't, you won't. That's my opinion. Right,
and I'll say the reason for my score being higher than Nick's, when it could have really been closer to his, and not to be a little chameleon. But I think sometimes I like something that's a little bit easier of a game, in between heavier games that we're playing. But this one, I could definitely see where Nick doesn't find it too fun to play, and would I need to play it again? Not necessarily, but I'd give it a try if someone wanted to play it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up, and subscribe for more great reviews. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.